Hello there, Professor Warsi. Today we're going to learn one of the most fundamental aspects of academic writing. We're going to learn how to write effective essay titles. The reason I created this lesson for you is that when I read my students' essays, the title is vague, meaning they're not clear at all. And the reader has such a hard time understanding what the topic of the essay is and what the essay's main idea or central idea is. Okay? So this is a lesson on conveying both topic and main idea in essay titles. Okay, so let's begin. Today's objectives are to understand what an essay title is, to learn how titles express both topic and main idea, analyze examples of effective titles. So I'll show you some good titles and explain why they're so effective. You will also practice identifying topics and main idea from titles, and I'll give you an exercise in practicing writing effective essay titles. So with no further delay, let's start. First and foremost, what is an essay title? It's the first thing a reader sees, right? Let's say you're about to read an essay or an article or even a short story. What's the first thing you will see? It will be the title, right? At the top of the page. The title summarizes what the essay is about. So if you see the word weight loss in the title, then you know that the topic is weight loss, right? The title should include both the topic and the main idea, and it helps the reader know the essay's purpose. So good readers, fluent readers, can derive or conclude from the title what the essay's purpose, what the essay's main idea is. All right? So let's look at one example of an essay title to give you a sense of the importance of an essay title. Escape from the Western diet. And it's actually an article written by a very famous food writer, Michael Pollan. So escape from the Western diet. The topic you know is the Western diet. And escape, what do you think it means? Escaping from. The main idea is that one should avoid the Western diet. Okay? That was an example, as this gives you a little bit of a sense of what an essay title should be. Why do titles matter? You may be asking, I wrote the whole essay, Professor Warsi. Introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. Why is it important for me to have a title? First of all, you need to catch the reader's attention. If the title is weak or vague or not clear, the reader is not going to want to read the essay. Titles also provide clarity. They establish purpose, and they also reflect academic tone. If it's an academic essay, which is what you're likely to write, your professor will give you essay assignments. He or she will ask you to write a 5-paragraph academic essay, and the professor would want you to have an academic tone when you write your papers, not spoken English, but written English. Okay. So let's consider a couple of examples of good titles. The danger of a single story. Okay, a single story. So I've highlighted the topic in blue and the main idea in green. The danger of a single story. What is the topic? It's a one-sided story. So you only hear one side of the story. And the main idea is that you should not believe in only one story. That's dangerous because you will draw wrong conclusions. Okay. Number 2. There is no Thanksgiving for Native Americans. What is the topic? It's Thanksgiving, right? This isn't about Christmas, it's about Thanksgiving. And the main idea is that Native Americans do not celebrate Thanksgiving. They do not celebrate this national holiday. So those are 2 examples of good titles. Okay, let's look at 2 more. I am my mother tongue. I am my mother tongue. Now, the mother tongue means a person's first language or their native language. So the topic clearly is language, right? The topic is not education. The topic is not sports. But the topic is language. And I am my mother tongue. What do you think the main idea is? Personal identity and cultural ties. People take pride in their language, right? My first language is Spanish. Number 2, choose plants over meat. So you can tell the topic is eating meat. It's food, right? Eating food. And what's the main idea? In the green letters, choose plants. One should consume less meat and more plant-based food. Okay? So far, so good? Well, now we have looked at 4 good examples, okay, of titles. Let's look at some examples of poor titles, weak titles. Let's say a student writes a paper on climate change and it says the title is Essay on Pollution. There's no clarity. The reader sees, okay, this is about pollution, but then there is soil pollution, there's air pollution, right? There are all kinds of pollution. It's not clear at all. Essay on pollution, that's too vague, that's too general. Another title is My Thoughts. Okay, your thoughts on what? It's unclear, right? Environment. Okay, so you learn that this essay is about the environment, but there's no main idea. So let's see that you see a weak title such as environment, and the professor says, this is too general. Can you narrow it down? Make it narrower. So a better title may be air pollution. So now it's not just pollution, right? But air pollution, a global threat that demands action, right? So the writer is saying climate change crisis. It warrants a serious action, a serious discussion. Okay, so now it's time for you to do some exercises. The title is A Woman Has the Right to an Abortion. And I'm asking you about what the topic is and what the main idea is. Okay? So what do you think the woman's right is regarding giving birth to a child, regarding reproduction? Okay? So I haven't given you any answers. If you do this exercise and you're still not sure, you can always ask me questions in the comment box and I will get back to you and I'll explain if you have the right answer, if you need to improve. Cell phones in classrooms, a tool or a distraction? What is the topic? What is the main idea? Okay? So notice how there are 2 sides in the title. Are cell phones in classrooms a tool? That's one idea. Or a distraction? Okay. Exercise 3. Fast fashion. Cheap clothes, high costs. What is the topic? What is the main idea? Now, notice that the title contrasts low prices with serious consequences, because high costs is a consequence, right, of shopping too much or going for cheap clothes and paying more. Okay, so answer these 2 questions. Now, understanding essay titles, I've given you 5 titles, okay? And I'm asking you, the titles have both a topic and the main idea. And your job is to identify the topic and identify the main idea. Okay, and I'll read the titles out loud to you, so that will help you maybe determine what the topic and main idea are. 1. Fast fashion's hidden cost, why cheap clothes hurt the planet. 2. The silent struggle, college students and the mental health crisis. 3. Beyond grades, how extracurriculars shape a student's future. 4. click to distract, the impact of social media on academic focus. 5. Food, desserts in America. Why access to healthy eating is us. Okay? Here is the answers. Here are the answers. Fast fashion's hidden cost. Why cheap clothes hurt the planet. The topic is fast fashion or cheap clothing. And the main idea is fast fashion damages the environment. Okay, did you get it right? Did you write the same topic and main idea in your own words? I understand the words may not be exactly the same as the ones I've shown you, but the idea should be pretty close. So go over the rest of the answers, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and maybe even write down the topic and the main idea for reference. Okay? Now, try writing your own essay title. I'm sure if you're taking English 101, or even if you're in high school, you're not a college student yet, and when you're taking English and you have to write papers, you have to write essays for your professor, right? So I need you to do the following. Choose a topic. It could be education, technology, climate change, immigration, health, sports, a topic that you find interesting, a topic that piques your interest. Now think, once you choose a topic, let's say you want to write an essay about technology, then add your main idea. You could narrow it down to smartphones. What is your opinion on using smartphones? Or if you want to make it even narrower, you could say, what is your opinion on students using smartphones in classrooms? Add your main idea, and then you put the two together. You combine the topic and main idea into a clear title. All right? Let's summarize the lesson. An essay title shows topic and main idea. Good titles are clear and purposeful. Good titles give the reader a clear sense of what the topic is and what the main idea is. Okay? Examples help us see how titles work. Exercises build confidence in writing titles. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with some tips for writing good titles. When you write your title, your essay's title, be clear and be very specific, right? Something like saying food or sports is too broad, it's too general. It doesn't quite help the reader. When you write a title, make sure that you include both topic and main idea. Okay? Avoid being vague or one-word titles. Some of my students will read stress. That's too vague. Like, what kind of stress? Keep it concise but informative. You don't want to write a complete sentence because titles are not a complete sentence, right? And match the tone of your essay. Are you writing it for your professor or are you writing it for your friends? The tone will change depending on the type of essay you're writing. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you for watching. Now you know how to write strong essay titles. Keep practicing as you write your essays. Make sure that you write a good title that conveys the topic and main idea. Keep practicing because practice makes perfect. Any questions, feel free to write in the comment box and I'll get back to you. Again, thanks so much and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.